Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to the Northman Coaching Podcast, wherever you are tuning in from. And today we are going to be talking about the last three podcasts that I did, which are on balance, boldness, and bravery. And I think those are not in the proper order. I think boldness, balance, and bravery, but whatever. And today we have a special guest. He is part of the Northman Brotherhood. It is the author of May, December End, The Ballad of Joey Flowers. And his name is Joel Rosario. Welcome,
one
Joel.
and only.
The one, thank God.
Thank you for having me, sir.
You're very welcome. Thank you for joining me. So tell the listeners, all two of them, about, still left you, about who you are. What do you do?
Well, my name is Joel Rosario, for those that don't know, and you should know. Like Gary said, I'm part of the Northman Brotherhood. We met about a year and a half ago-ish.
Something like that.
Great group of guys. I'm a new author. He mentioned May, December End, The Ballad of Joey Flowers. That's my debut book, and it stems from, the book came about because of a blog that I had started about maybe 14, 15 years ago. I was just me journaling and blogging, trying to deal with a life situation, a breakup, which I ended up turning into a book. I also have done writings for different websites and featured on like Life as a Human. I have a podcast that I have with my wife, my now wife Gloria, called Sessions and Lessons Unscripted. But we're pretty much kind of a self-help-ish podcast. We dive into some fun stuff as well. I mean, we're all Gen Xers, so we kind of talk about how society was back when we were kids, old games, and being out until the street lights turn on and
the good stuff.
Screaming. So, and then I also produce, my wife has a podcast of her own called Glowing Off Script, which I direct and produce, I guess. And she's a little more, she kind of sticks to the same kind of subjects, but hers is more straightforward. She's geared more towards females. And although anybody can listen, obviously, but yeah. So I'm also on. I'm just a regular guy like everybody else out there listening and watching. So I'm still navigating through this thing we call life, and I'm trying to share my experiences with people, and I'm learning as I go along the way. And as much as people may think I know everything and know all the answers, I don't. So yeah,
I don't think any of us do.
I'm along for the ride.
There you go. I always, whenever I talk about your podcast on the shows, which I do always, you guys remind me, especially the beginning parts of like, when I grew up in New York, going to school in the morning, I'd have like either like the Howard Stern show on, or I think it was called PLJ or Z100 with like the radio shows.
Right.
And you guys remind me of the radio talk show from back in the day.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day, and it's like, I remember the days when I was a teenager, right? And you're getting ready for school and you're listening to the morning zoo and your music, and it was just a great period of time. So I thought we would lean a little bit more into that because it seems to resonate with a lot of people. And I think it's also a good tool, right? Because even though the nostalgia hits and gives you the warm and fuzzies, it opens you up, I think, too, to like really get down to important matters, right? Because let's face it, all of us, especially now as adults, we have experiences and traumas and things like that we need to deal with, right? So I think that's a good vehicle and a good tool to use to kind of open the door. And like our show is very lax. It's very we want to talk about those things, but we know how everyone's day to day, right? Everyone goes through this thing we call life. And sometimes you just want to kind of relax. And I mean, the problems don't go away, right? The issues don't go away, but at least you can kind of take a breath and be like, yeah, this is going on. But hey, did you check when you were a kid? Did you check this out? Or hey, did you have this transformer? Or you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the angle we're going for. And it seems to be liked by people. People are responding, so that's good.
Very good. It's funny because like that's one thing I love talking about when you guys talk about the toys you had back in the day and stuff. And it makes then you get into the real stuff, and it's like, wow. So these two people deal with the same thing that I deal with on a regular basis. Maybe it's not the same exact problem, but it is the same problem. And part of life is navigating it, getting over it, and then you get the sidekick part of, the toys, the G.I. Joe things. Like there was an episode you guys did where I was like, I had that. Even this morning, I think it was, yesterday, I sent you that thing with the Hot Wheel, the Knight Rider.
Yes, I
And
had that one.
I had that one also. I love that little thing that made you spin out, which never really worked, but whatever.
No, it did not.
Yeah, it just made it stop. So, but yeah, so your show, if you know, to everybody out there listening to this, check out his show. They air every Sunday and Wednesday, and then his
Yes.
wife's show, which is for females apparently, which I love it though. Yeah, I'm hooked on that show, but I'm not a female. But anyway, that comes out on Fridays, and they're on all major podcast platforms. So, Joel, with the whole book and the podcast and everything that you are working on in your life, when I say balance, boldness, and bravery, which one of those has been the hardest for you to live and why?
All three,
Okay.
because all three would be ones that I struggle with even to this day, right? I think it's a common problem. I don't think I'm special in any way when it comes to, like, say, bravery, because how many people out there right now listening and watching it are afraid to say anything to somebody, or afraid to take, that step, or afraid to take that risk to start that business or write that book or start that podcast. So I don't think I'm alone in that. I think for myself, bravery would be one of the big ones. Balance, I think I'm getting better on, like you said, life, we're navigating through this thing, right? So I think people are trying to overthink. They're trying to overthink this whole thing. It's like, you got to take things one thing at a time. And then, like, navigate's like the one of the best words to describe it. Cause also I would say I'd throw adapt in there, because life is going to throw anything at you, curveballs, anything. Everybody knows this, right? So you got to know how to kind of roll with the punches, adapt, navigate through everything. But yeah, I think I would say I'm guilty of all three. The bravery is a big one, because I think fear cripples everybody. And I think sometimes if we just kind of say, forget it and just do the thing, like, I almost want to say, if you get the fear out of the way, everything else will fall into place, right? Because fear is one of the biggest things that stops us all, like all of us, me included, right? So that's just a reality, right? We just gotta puff our chests out and just be brave, right? So, or else nothing
Absolutely.
gets done.
So when you say fear, with like for me personally, like everything that I've done, every big step in my life, there has been some kind of fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of, I don't know. Those are probably the two biggest things. But when you look at rejection as something that's going to happen to you, it is a fact. You will be rejected in life. And that goes out to all of the people listening that are 5 and under. If you are over the age of 5, you have already been rejected at least once.
Yes.
It's going to happen. It's how you deal with it. It's how you navigate through that. And failure is a step in learning. If you learn from the failures, you will progress. So, and I know it's so much easier said than done, but that's been a huge thing in my life when I realized that if this podcast doesn't work, if this coaching doesn't work, if whatever I'm doing does not work, what have I learned to move on to the next step? So therefore, there is no fear. And another thing about my fear with this whole thing that I'm doing now is money. I spent all this money to get into the podcast, to do the coaching and get the license or whatever. And what if it doesn't work? All that money wasted. But you have every opportunity in the world to rebuild your wealth. You're going to lose it. I've lost it before. I've gained it back, and I've lost it again. And what I have now, I'm sure I'll lose it again, but it's okay. I'm not worried about it, because I will gain it back, because I'm a go-getter. I go out and get it done.
Yes, he is a go-getter.
Yeah,
you're exactly right. I think a lot of people fail. See what I did there?
Yeah.
A lot of
I like
people
that.
fail seeing the lessons that they can learn from the failure, right? Like, you have to fail. Look at all these, companies, like most of the companies, if not all of the companies that exist nowadays. There was failure in there somewhere.
Mhm.
So you have to fail. Failure is almost critical, because
It is.
that way you can kind of see, it helps you in your navigating, right? The failure, like, okay, now I know not to do that, or now I know not to do this, or now I know I should do this. Like, it's there to show you something. It's there to teach you something. And people just think right away it's a negative thing, right? It's like, oh, I failed. I'm, and then of course, I won't amount to anything. This isn't going to work. This isn't whatever. Right away, they shut the door. It's like, it's not an end. Failure's not an end. It's just another step towards where you want to go, or where you should be. So it's like, people need to realize that failure right away, don't put a negative on it. Does it suck sometimes? Of course it does. If something doesn't work the way you planned it, of course it does. But move on. Like,
That's where the navigation comes in.
yeah, navigation comes in. You brush yourself off, and now you know don't do this, do this, do this,
Right.
do that. It's people, but people are so quick to put a negative spin on it or shut the doors on it. It's something we got to learn how to not do. So
Absolutely. But you also don't want to jump in and say, I'm going to fail. You don't want to look for the failure.
right,
Right. So you don't want to fail just because you know it's a step in going in the right direction. But when you do fail, which most people do, I don't know any successful person that hasn't failed at
that
something
hasn't
in their
failed.
life.
Right.
And I mean, we just spoke about that before we started recording about fatherhood, about how you said you could do better.
Yes.
And I know I could have done better. And, I had a conversation with my dad saying, he told me he could have done better, but we can always all do better. But what we perceive as failures are, once again, they're stepping stones,
And you can only do the best you can, right? I mean, you're not gonna nail it every single time.
Yes.
I mean, life's funny. It's like it's like a river. It's constantly flowing. It's like, I mean, you win some, you lose some, right? And you just gotta realize that. It's like, okay, you weren't the best father, but you tried, right? You did the best you could with what you had and what you knew. So what more can you ask? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, what more can you ask for that? So it's like people need to realize that too. Even that, it's like, I mean, you did what you could with what you had. So
Right. And I don't want to put the Bible into this just yet, but I was reading the Bible yesterday in Ecclesiastes, I think it was. It says, the rivers constantly, and you just made me think of this, the rivers constantly flow into the ocean. They never stop. And the ocean is never full.
right.
So it's like it will never end. That's how it was a million years ago, and that's how it is now. And that's how it will be in a million years from now.
Yep.
So, yes. Anyway, so one of the episodes that I had was called Balance. And in the balance episode, I talked about balance not being equal attention to everything, but giving the right things the right attention.
Yes.
How has your definition of balance changed over the years?
I think it kind of like balance can put things into like kind of perspective, right? Like I think you figure out what's important, what can be, kind of laxed on, what brings you joy, what doesn't, what makes your life better, what doesn't. So I think balance, I think a lot of people think of it that way, right? Like everything has to be like even and like harmonious and stuff like that. But it's not necessarily that. It's more knowing what's going to better your life and what isn't, what's going to progress you as a person, what isn't. I mean, we tend to put importance in the wrong stuff. Like prioritizing is something that people need to kind of learn also navigating through life here because, it's like some things are it's like I guess like a background singer, I guess is the best way to put it. Right. So like, you have your song, you have your harmonies, your melodies and stuff like that, but you need to have your main things in tune, right? And then everything else is just kind of goes along for the ride, I guess. I think that analogy makes sense. I don't know.
Sure.
But,
I'm very musically declined, so I couldn't tell you. But it
right.
makes sense.
Or else you're all out of tune, right? That's exactly what you don't want. You don't want to be out of tune because who's going to listen to an out of tune song or an ensemble? So it's like you have to have everything in harmony. And all the notes, right? The notes have to be in the right place. So people just need to learn how to prioritize things and, get to that crescendo or whatever. So it's, I think balance, people need to change their kind of view on that word. It's not like the literal sense of balance. It's not knowing how to, put the right pieces in the right spots to get where you need to go.
Yes. So, with my struggle with balance prior to, I don't know, I still struggle every now and again with balance, but I had said I was going to put this much time into the podcast, this much time into coaching, this much time into fathering, and it was the equal amount of time. But then I realized that as my daughter needed me more and the coaching needed me less at the moment, I had to give more to my daughter. And that was balance. But as far as the scale goes, she was getting more attention than the coaching was, or my full-time job, whatever.
Right.
But it's where you are needed. That's how you balance things out.
See, and the coaching will still be there, right? I mean, the coaching will still be there. Your job will still be there. It's not going anywhere. Your daughter needs you more at the time. That's where your priority should be, right? Your job's going to still be there. Everything else still going to be there. So, and I mean, at the time, that's what she needs. She needs your attention more. So that's where you got to put it. If you're trying to kind of ration out your life like that, it's like it's going to wear very thin and then things are going to start to fall apart. Right. So unless you correctly put your your energy into the right things at the right time, you're gonna end up wearing yourself thin. Because let's face it, I almost want to say it's humanly impossible to spread your time like that, where everything is just like on a time clock. It's
Yes,
life doesn't work like that. Life doesn't throw you things on this day. This is what's gonna happen on this day. This is no, that's not.
that would be
That's
nice.
not how life works.
That would be nice. Then you wouldn't have to navigate anymore. You would know what's coming.
Right. You know what's coming, and what's the fun in that?
So, is there a season in your life where you got balance completely wrong?
I would say later in life, I think I almost want to say after I became single, after my wife died my wife at the time, because maybe it was me just trying to figure myself out. Because for those that don't know out there, really quick on my background, I ran away from home when I was 15. I got together with a woman that was 12 years older than I. She was almost 30 when I met her, and my life like totally took a different turn. I became 15 and became an adult right away. So it's like, yeah, my life was structured in a certain way until, I was on my own. And then I was kind of left to kind of figure myself out or figure life out. So I would say that that's the period of time where I really tried to find some sort of balance or where I was heading, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Speaking of balance, and I called him out on the episode when I did it, was I called Cliff Shuffler out. He's a friend of both of ours.
Mhm.
He's also a life coach. He has the DSM factor. But we had a discussion, the three of us, about obsession.
Yes.
And that, to me, is an unhealthy balance. He disagreed, and it's really how you look at it. It's all, it's like you said earlier, it's all perspective.
It's perspective, and I get where he's coming from.
Oh, I do too.
But obsession, I think, of course, everyone. Well, with the new movie and stuff out, great movie by the way. Anyway, obsession always goes towards the negative, right? It's always a negative thing because our discussion was obsession and passion, right? Like
Yes.
kind of, they're all cousins, but obsession to me is like the naughty cousin. So yeah, I see where he's coming from with that, but I think anything you do should have passion in it. Obsession, I don't know. I respectfully disagree with him as well. I see where he's coming from, but I would rather use passion than obsession.
Absolutely.
It's a word.
Absolutely. But it all comes down to balance. And
Yes.
when you use obsession the way that we're talking about it, that's not balanced. That's too
No.
much in one spot.
Right.
But nevertheless.
Yes.
So, as a husband, an author, and a podcaster, and a creator, and my good friend, how do you decide what gets your energy when everything else feels important?
Well, especially now and these days, I'm focusing more on stuff that is going to make me a better person, make me feel good or I guess fulfilled. Of course, putting my priorities in order, right? Like I know certain things have to be done, but for example, I do put a lot of attention on the podcast and the shows, and I myself feel like it is important because it's something that of course it helps glow an eye, and it also helps people out there that are listening and watching. But at the same time, it's like I know I got to put attention, like say on the writing and on of course I have a day job, right? So I'm not
Oh,
a
yeah.
uber bajillionaire yet. So I have to, I mean, I think I'm getting a lot better. I think before I was putting too much on my plate and wearing myself a little bit thin. Now it's more like pinpointing things, right? So like I know this is kind of, what is it? Empty calories, like when like people that are into fitness and health and stuff. It's like you have to see what's the fulfilling calories or what's going to help fuel you and make you go,
Mhm.
and the ones that are just couch potato calories. So that's I know for myself, I try to focus on the things that I know that's going to help in the progression.
Mhm.
That's pretty much what I want to focus on. And all the other stuff is fine, right? But it's like if it's just kind of a extracurricular thing, that's fine. But if the things that help the progression is what I want to focus on.
Gotcha. So, and I think you know where I'm going to go with this one because we had a discussion a while back. But so a lot of men, they think that balance means slowing down. Do you think that balance sometimes requires saying no, even to good opportunities?
I would say, yeah, sometimes you have to kind of take a step back to step forward. if that makes any sense. So even if something presents itself to you as something good, sometimes you might have to put that on the back burner at the time, right? So I would say so, because like I said, sometimes you got to take a step back to take a step forward. So,
and what I was getting at with that whole topic right there is we had a discussion a while back where, yeah, so Joel helps me with all of my technical videos and stuff for the podcast and whatever I do. And his wife had called him out, and so did I, that he puts too much time into helping other people and not himself. And there's times where you have to stop, say, I can't do that for you right now, Gary. I have to do this for me, or I have to do this for Glow, or whatnot. So not saying that helping me is a good opportunity. I don't know. It might be someday. We'll see. When I'm that bajillionaire, I'll make sure I hook you up a little bit.
I'll be first.
I expect the same in reverse. And
No, I mean, and you know what? And I have and I see what she's saying, and I understand that, right? I mean, you gotta, as selfish as it sounds, you gotta be selfish. You gotta think about yourself first, right? You're the most important person on this planet. Gary, you're the most important person on this planet. Joel, you're the most important person on this planet. You out there right now watching, you're the most important person on this planet. You are first. Everything else goes second. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with helping others and extending yourself out like that. But you do have to, you can't do it and then hurt yourself in the process or neglect yourself in the process. Right. And I myself am guilty of that. Right. And
we all are.
Yeah. I like to be, I try to be as kind as possible, helpful as possible, respectful as possible. But you gotta make sure you're not kind of compromising yourself in the process. And that's something that I'm of course still working on, and I'm sure a lot of people have too, or are doing that right now. But that's something you really got to keep in mind, that there's nothing wrong with that, extending yourself out and help people out and doing things and this and that. But it's like, you got to take care of yourself first, for sure.
Yes, absolutely. And that goes, I use this saying all the time, probably so does every other coach out there, but you got to put your mask on first with the oxygen mask in the plane. Like, if you are not taking care of yourself and you're not 100%, you can't give your all to somebody else. So
Absolutely.
You are the most important person.
Yep.
Absolutely. So what has Glow taught you about balance that you did not learn on your own?
Wow, good question. You know, the first thing that comes to mind, Glow is great. You guys should meet her. I'm telling you. But our personalities are it's an interesting thing, right? Because we're different, but very, very much alike. One thing that I would say that she's taught me, Glow is the kind of person that's just do it, right? And deal with it later, which sometimes drives me nuts, but whatever. That's a discussion for another time. But she's not necessarily wrong, right? Because you have to just put yourself out there, just do the things, get things done. And like I said, sometimes you have to do certain things and then it turns into like kind of like dominoes, right? One after the other. So unless you poke the bear, you're not going to get anywhere. And I would say she's taught me more and more with, that personality trait, because I was more of a kind of chill, laid back, kind of, timid and afraid to do this and that. And she's like, nah, let's just do it. So rip the Band-Aid off right now.
Shoot first, ask questions later.
Shoot first, ask questions later. Yeah. So I think that's helping me out, because it's getting me to a point where, all right, I'm out here now. What do I have to be proactive, right? Now I got to see what pieces fall into what place. So I would say that would be the one that comes to mind right away.
Okay. And I like that, because I didn't even think of this until you said it, but with fear of failure, like if you don't just go do it, that gives you the time to talk yourself out of it.
Yes, absolutely.
So if you just do it.
And she's the kind where she's not trying to give herself room for anything. She's like, just go, go, go.
Yep. And even like, I look at your podcast, and I'm sure it's the same with my podcast. I remember when I heard your first podcast, I was like, And now I'm hooked on them. Like, you guys have gotten better and better and better. You guys are awesome now. Like, if you guys continue to get better, I'm gonna have to go out of business.
I'll bring you with me.
But I'm telling you though, but just do it. Just do, what was it? A messy start. Doesn't matter. Just do it.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And like I told you guys out there listening and watching, it's like, when I started the podcast, it was completely, wow, talk about scared, right? If you listen to some of the older clips, I mean, the sound's awful. I'm stuttering. I was trying to go for more of like a serious tone with the podcast. It was just me at the time. It wasn't even myself and Glow. And then Glow came into it. And the more we did it, the more we like doing it. Now I love doing it. It's awesome. I love doing it. But imagine if I didn't take that chance, right? Or we
Hmm.
didn't decide to just do it, where would I be right now? Or the book, honestly, it probably could have came out earlier,
Okay.
but because of certain things, fears and doubts and things like that, of course, it prolonged it, right? And a perfect example, right? Like because the book could have been out already, but because of fear, it sat on a shelf somewhere, or floating around in the internet somewhere. But
Yep.
yeah, I mean, you got to take that chance, and even if you're scared, I'm telling you guys, before starting the podcast, I was not. I hated my voice. Like I said, the ums and ahs and stuttering, and people aren't going to listen, and you name it, everybody knows all the excuses, but
Yep.
it's, I just said, no, I'm going to do this. And now just look at this, look at all of this.
You're a bazillionaire. Look at all the stuff you have. So where was I going with that? Yeah, I think everybody hates their voice.
Yes.
I remember when I first started making videos on YouTube, I couldn't stand my voice. And with the fear of your book going out, I remember when it came out and I got that book. I remember opening it up and the very next day I read that at work. And so in case you guys don't have Joel's book, May, December End, it was seriously the best book that I read all of last year. I've read a better one this year, but all of 2025, that was the best book. So if you haven't got your copy, go get it. Why don't you tell them where it's at?
Yeah, you guys can grab a copy of May December End, The Ballad of Joey Flowers. It's on Amazon. You can download it into Amazon Kindle. If you have a Nook device, that's Barnes and Noble's reader, you can also order it on barnesandnoble.com. And if you're up in northern Illinois or southern Wisconsin, you can pick it up at Studio Moonfall, which is an independent bookstore in downtown Kenosha. Great little store. It's a lot of artisans sell their crafts there. The owner is Donovan Scherer. He's also an author and a cartoonist. Great art, great everything. I mean, if you guys are in the area, and you can go on their website. They have a website, studiomoonfall.com. You can order stuff from there. It's a great little shop. But yeah, if you go to Amazon, you'll be able to find it. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty much it. That's pretty much all the
Excellent.
places.
Well, there you guys have it. So if you don't have it, go get that book. So the next episode that I did that we're going to cover is boldness. And in that episode, I had said that most men don't have an information problem, they have an action problem. Do you
I
agree or disagree with that?
Yes, I 100% agree. And I can speak for that being a male, right? A man. Like my problem is action. Talk is cheap. You could talk
Hmm.
all day long, talk till you're blue in the face. Unless you put action behind it, doesn't mean anything. And I'm guilty of that, right? A lot of us are. What is it? Faith without works is nothing. So
Hmm.
it's, ideas are nice, and I'm going to do that is nice, but okay, what are you going to do about it? I mean,
Exactly.
it doesn't mean anything. And
Hmm.
let me tell you, I'm guilty of that big time. Just talk, and no action.
Yeah.
So guilty. But yeah, I mean, you gotta move, you gotta do something. You can't wish for your life to be better, or wish to, have a book on the shelf, or wish to do a podcast. Okay, where's your microphone? Where's your computer? Where's your pen and paper? It's like the book's not going to write itself. The podcast isn't going to record itself. So, I mean, action is huge.
It is. And even with more than that, like working out, we talked about this before the
Yes.
recording, you don't have to say you're going to be in shape. You're going to, spend the rest of your life in the gym. But if you just go today, take
Hmm.
that step. Don't just say, I want to be in shape. Take that step,
Yes.
you know, go to the gym today and then do it again tomorrow if you want.
Yeah, you're not going to wake up and have a physique like Gary's. I mean, come on. It's all
It's
natural.
going away. I'm trying to get it back. So, but yeah, yes, it's been actually the first time. I'm 48 years old. I'll be 48.
Mhm.
And actually, when this airs, I'll be 48. This is the first time in my life that I've actually counted, did my macros and stuff. So
Yeah, I don't know how any of that works.
I don't know either because my scale keeps going up and down. Like I measure it, and one day I'm 180 something, the next day I'm 170 something, and I'm back to 180. Like I go up and down on a daily basis. It's weird. I don't get it.
Yeah, but
But
you're doing the thing, and that's the key, right? You're actually doing it. I mean, you're not sitting on your rear end, like not taking
true.
action. Like Gary's taking action, right? Like myself, I used to go to the gym a lot, right? And like
Hmm.
all the time. I just recently joined again, and it's just a matter of going, right? It's like I'm not gonna my weight loss journey right now is not gonna continue if I don't keep putting action into it. I'm not gonna get the plateau moving plateauing going if I don't take the extra steps, right? Like it's like it's the you have to have action. It's like it's just a common sense thing, right? It's like you're not gonna make the boat go if you don't put the oar in the water. You got to put the oar in the water.
Yes. Yep. That kind of just answered my next question, which was, what is something you knew that you needed to do before you did it? Like you were sitting on waiting, you were sitting on the shoreline waiting to make that jump, And
Yeah,
I would say that the gym you just talked about, or even before you talked about putting the book out, you sat on it, but because you had the information, you knew what you had to do, but the action is what got you where you're going. So,
exactly. Otherwise, it's
um,
pointless. You can have, okay, I'm going to start a podcast. You bought the mic, you bought, your Zoom thingy over here.
mhm.
Okay, it's sitting on the table. What are you going to do with it? It's like, and all of us do it, right? We like gung ho at first, and then it's like it sits there, and it's like, okay, it's not going to turn itself on.
Right.
So you got to turn it on.
It's well, that's funny. So you buy all the equipment that you need, whether it's for a podcast or to write a book or
Yep.
to get in shape. But then when now you have everything you need,
Yes.
but then when it comes to putting yourself out there, now you're opening
Yes.
yourself up to judgment. That's where the action kind of you have to overlook all that. And that, so writing a book, that's a very bold act. Starting a podcast, that's a bold act.
Very, yep.
So putting your book out into the world, that's going to invite criticism.
Yes.
Going to the gym, that's going to invite criticism. So what fears did you have before you actually released your book?
As far as the book goes, I had one of my, well, there were many, but the main one I think is having to put my story out there and answer questions. People are going
Mhm.
to have questions. The fact that some of the subject matter of the book as well, right? So let's face it, I entered into a relationship that was not, I mean, it's not right. I was a minor.
Mhm.
And then it's funny, I didn't even think about this term until Glow told me this, of course, later in my life. The Stockholm syndrome,
Mhm.
which I was suffering from, which of course I'm blinded, right? So I don't see it at the time. So, anyways, putting out the book, I know I was putting myself out there. A lot of the stuff that I've never discussed with anybody, I'd never discussed like all the personal stuff. That of course, like you said, it opens yourself up, right? So it was a big jump because I knew that I was going to get questions. I knew people weren't going to understand, and it's me in a vulnerable state, right? And no one wants to be seen in a vulnerable state. Everybody wants to be seen as okay, and he's got his stuff together, and this was me unraveled, right? My life was unraveling. I was confused. And this is something I'm telling everyone, right? I'm like, no one wants to look at life like that. Nobody wants to see the dark underside of it. Nobody wants to see the ugly stuff. And some of this stuff is ugly. And you're gonna get opinions, you're gonna get questions, you're gonna get scrutinized, you're gonna get whatever, all of the things. But that was one of the fears of mine, but I was ready for it at the time. And I just said, forget it. We're going to do this now. I'm ready to move on. It was an integral part of myself moving on and progressing. If we don't put ourselves out there, face the things that we need to face, deal with the things we need to deal with, you're gonna get nowhere, and it's really gonna do a lot of damage because you're holding that stuff in, not putting it out there, and you're just gonna suffer for it. And I was done suffering, right? That's the main thing. I wanted to start alleviating some of the suffering. I will admit, I mean, to this day, I suffer from things here and there, but who doesn't? But this was a huge, huge jump for me. And I wouldn't even call them risks, right? Because I guess saying that it's a risk, there's connotations of you losing something, right? But
Mhm.
doing this, I'm gaining something. I'm not losing anything. The only thing I'm losing is that old mindset, the old feelings, the old things. And if anything, I'm looking at it more as a game because I'm opening myself up. I'm opening myself up for healing. I'm opening myself up to help anyone else that's can relate, right? It was a big move, but it was a move that had to be made.
Okay. What was the hardest question that was asked to you?
I would say, really though, I'm trying to think. The hardest question I got. I think the hardest questions would be, the ones about like, well, how did you not see this before? And of course, people will be like, well, he was young. He didn't know what he was doing. A lot of the stuff when they ask about my parents and our relationship, because I'm telling you, the situation really changed a lot of things. And it's like that, like if you could go into a time machine, man, if I would have did this or this, you kind of look at the different scenarios. To this day, I feel like my relationship, certain people it's different than it should be, if that makes any sense. Like my personal relationship, like say with my parents, I personally think, even though we've mended things and we've put things behind us, buried hatchets, whatever, it's not the same. It's not, in my eyes anyways. It's not what I've always envisioned, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
Not bad at all, but yeah, my life took all kinds of weird twists and turns. So
It's funny because when you say that, how could you not see what you were getting into? But even you were 15, but even now, you're with Glow, but so I'm in the dating scene at 40, almost 48. And, I'll be in a relationship and it will end. And I'm like, wow, she was absolutely crazy. Because when you are in the heat of things or even in love or whatever you want to call it, you don't see half of the real stuff.
no, not at all.
So, and especially at 15, forget it. You didn't stand a chance.
Yeah,
So,
and then and I was a typical 15-year-old, right? We all think we know everything. You're kind of out of childhood and into your
mhm,
your teenage years. You think you're invincible, you know everything. And I came from a Latino household, so I mean, you Latinos out there, if you know, you know. I know I bumped heads a lot with my mom at the time, and just being typical 15-year-old know-it-all. Yeah, I made the decision that I made. And I don't know if I want to say I was unfortunate to fall into someone it's like a snare, I guess, like a trap or something. But
okay,
it was like a perfect storm situation. She was going through some stuff. I was going through some stuff. For whatever reason, ended up crossing paths, and yeah, it like changed the whole trajectory. And yeah, I mean, I know with Glow and other people that I've talked to about this, they're like, you didn't know, you were young. I do, I did take a lot of the blame for it, because it's like, yeah, but I knew what I was getting into. I knew what I was doing. But what did I really know? I mean, yeah, it's a question that I've asked myself in the past. But yeah, like even to this day, I'm dealing with things, kind of residual things with that. Not anything that's an anchor or holding me down or back, because a lot of that stuff is eroding, right? Especially with Gary and the guys and Northman, and just, I think it has to start with you. It has to start, you have to be the one to want to change. You have to be the one to want to be a better person. You have to be the one to change your life, the way it's going to go. It ultimately starts with you. But
mhm,
I'm super grateful for Gary and the guys, and for Glow, and I'm gonna say I'm grateful and thankful for the way that things did happen, because I'm here right now. I'm here, the Joel that you see in front of you, because of those things, right? So yeah, and like Gary said before, you said perspective is also huge. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of my perspective right now. I mean, so, and I think it's helping me progress and helping me be a better person. Am I perfect? No, absolutely not.
you're pretty close.
Pretty
Pretty close.
close. Yeah, pretty close.
So, of like the 15 questions I had coming up next, you just answered them all. So I'm not even going to ask them, but well, it will sound ridiculous. But two things I have. So, and I don't want to go into too much. That's part of the next segment is being vulnerable. And you said you don't want to show that. And I feel like that's what we're taught. You don't want to show your vulnerability. But looking at social media, and you and I are both pretty big on social media. When I look at Instagram and I see the reels of the highlights of the vacation, of the awesome life that you have with the cool car and the beautiful woman and the perfect dog and that big house, that doesn't do anything for me. It used to make me feel like, man, I'm behind in life. But
Mhm.
now I know that that's what people are showing because they don't want to show the downside to all of
Exactly. And social media is good for that, right? People are going
it.
to
Yep.
show you what they want to show you.
Hmm.
You don't see all the background stuff. You see what they want you, they show you what they want you to see,
Hmm.
like the vacations, the nice house, and I was the same. I'd see these people with their lives. So how are their lives so good? And even now with like the podcasting thing and like the authoring thing, I see people constantly that are like a step or two ahead of me, or they have this
Stephen
or
King.
that. And at first I was kind of like, man, that's kind of what I want. But you know what? You don't know what's going on behind all of that. So just worry about the things in front of you at the time and go with it. Like, I mean, don't fall for that stuff, because a lot of that stuff, it's like that carrot being dangled in front of you. It's like,
Yep.
you just gotta just worry about you and what's going on at the time. Like everyone else, you don't, and especially with AI now, right? Who even knows if half the stuff
Very
is
true.
true, right? Like I can make this right here look like a mansion behind me, or
Yep.
like a grand
It's funny that some of the
staircase.
videos I have to look at like twice, and I'm like trying to catch flaws so I know it's AI, but
Yeah.
it doesn't even matter. But being vulnerable, I like to see that. I like to see the story behind the book, the story behind the band or whatever
Yeah, I do too.
that built you up to become that
That's
real.
exactly right. Cause like music is great, right? Cause I love music, but like I love finding out like why is your band name what it is?
Mm.
How did you guys meet? Where did you guys play before you made it big? Like the steps there to me are more intriguing than the actual like the finished product. And again,
Yeah.
it goes to the thing we were saying before, how people always look at the end result, right? They're not worried about the little steps towards that.
And there are always little steps toward that. Nobody, Metallica didn't wake up and they were Metallica and they were huge one day. They
Right.
went through a lot of stuff. Same with every band that anybody knows of, any author. They all have books that didn't do well.
Yes, I think,
Um,
like for example, I think yeah, I had just heard this. That's what kind of triggered me. But I think it was Stephen King. He didn't start getting famous until his 12th book. I think
12. Can you
12.
imagine having
Yeah.
11 books that don't do so hot and next
Right.
thing, and you're still going? That is resilience. Is that a good word? I think maybe. Sure.
And then
I like it.
it brings up another thing that we kind of discussed before. It's like, so my podcast right now, Sessions and Lessons,
Mhm.
before we just recently started doing video, right? Because that's another thing. Speaking of fear, I don't like the way I look. I don't think I look good on camera. Well, any of that stuff. But I just said, you know what, forget it. I'm just gonna do it. And I'm liking it. So yeah, the where was I even going with this?
I don't know. Not sure.
So yeah, it's like we have all of our podcasts were audio only for the longest. We've been on for about a year and a half ish.
Mhm.
So even though like the podcast is still kind of, I would say, pretty small, and we do have some listeners and stuff like that, even though it's going slow, I have like a catalog of stuff already in the back catalog, right? So if I do, well, I shouldn't say if, when it blows up, yeah, you got like a library of stuff to listen to. Same thing with Gary.
Yeah, I have a huge library of stuff. Actually, half of it got erased when I switched from whatever I was doing into Riverside, but I'm fine with that because I was not overly excited about a lot of the older stuff. So back to my voice. I thought it was terrible. I have learned to love my voice. So
It's like velvet.
speaking of velvet and voices, I still think that you should do a audiobook to put you to sleep because you have that voice, that calming voice. Yeah,
What should the subject be?
I don't know.
Just read like an instruction manual or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, exactly. Instruction manual. Just count the sheep for me.
There you go.
Oh,
That's a
yes.
good idea.
Yep. So the last part the third episode that I did the last three was the last one was Bravery, and this was huge for me because people will find out why when they hear it. But in the Bravery episode, I talked about the fear sitting in the passenger seat, but not allowing it to drive. What is a time in your life when fear was screaming at you, but you moved anyway? And I know where you're going, but you can say it.
Cast
I was going to say the book, but okay.
that
But
too.
either or, honestly, you have to just go.
Yeah, I mean, like we were saying, the book's not gonna release itself or write itself. I mean, it's fear is the only way to say it is it's crippling, right? It's gonna stop you on your tracks every time. So if I just listen to the fear and let it take over, the book would not be out, right?
Mhm.
The podcast, it wouldn't be out. It's fear, and I get it, right? It's fear, it's not an easy thing to overcome. It's not.
Well, I think the point
But
is not even overcoming it. You're allowed to have it in the passenger seat. You need it.
yeah, I mean, fear is normal, right? But
Mhm.
it's like you got to learn how to overcome it. Exactly. I mean, you gotta, and there's like fear, like, don't jump off this cliff because you're not gonna make it, or fear, like, they're gonna make fun of you, or, there's like stuff you can do that it's not
Mhm.
gonna affect anything. It's like, and that's it's like kind of a superficial fear, I guess, if you want to call it that. It's like, that's the fear that people always have a problem with, right? Like, and myself included. I mean, it's like, what's the worst that can happen? That's something you got to ask yourself, right? I think
Mhm.
anybody out there it's struggling with doing something or beginning something or whatever, ask yourself that. Ask, what's the worst that can happen? They say no. They say it sucks. They okay. And as our buddy Cliff says, and so
Exactly.
I love that. It's like our buddy Cliff Shuffler, he has this thing where you ask yourself, and just one simple word. And I find myself using that a lot.
Mhm.
And I'll even go as far as say, as I hear Cliff's voice in the back of my head. But yeah, I mean, you guys out there, honestly, think about it. Just ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? And then one simple word, and then what are you going to do about it? If you do your first podcast and you release it and it does suck, okay. And what are you going to do about it? Are you going to just pack it up? Which most people do, right? They just say, oh, forget it. Or you're just going to keep going. Overcome is a really good word, because people need to learn how to overcome, and
Mhm.
people have more strength than they think. I mean, everyone out there, that's a misconception that you can't do it or you're not strong enough. Yeah, that's not true. Don't believe that. That's a lie you're going to tell yourself. That's a lie that your brain's going to tell you to keep you
Keep you
safe,
safe.
right?
Yes, sir.
So
That's your brain's sole purpose in life, is to keep you safe,
right. And
keep you
it's
alive.
like, just because this guy's gonna tell you that your book sucks, okay. And what are you gonna do about it? Like, it's
So how many people have told you that your book sucks?
I think I heard one person they didn't
Okay.
say it sucked, but
They didn't like it.
it wasn't their thing,
So
which is
there are a
fine.
lot of books that are not my thing,
Yeah. I mean,
that are probably great books.
that's fine. I'm not, and it's funny, right? Like, the old me would have took that and just, it was a death
Mhm.
sentence. But
Yep.
now it's kind of like, okay, and it's like, that's one of out of how many people that are gonna look at it or read it or ask about it. It's like, it's only one person. So it's
Mhm.
not. It's so funny how, to me, like, how we're quick to take things as a like a final, like a death sentence. Like I said, it's like, no, it's not. It's like, just because one person doesn't like it doesn't mean anything. It's like, that one particular person. It's not for them.
Mhm.
So
So that makes me think of when I started going back to the gym. I remember I got to this one piece of equipment, and I got on completely backwards. And I got got my towel. I'm ready to do this. Got my gloves on, and I'm like, and then I look at the diagram. And I'm like, and the first thing I did was look around. No one's looking at me. Nobody cares.
nobody cares.
But
And in reality, that's how it is, right? Like,
nobody cares.
nobody cares. Nobody cares
Yes.
about you. It
Yes.
sounds hard. It sounds harsh, but it's true.
Sure. I mean, they're
It's
going to care if you're dying or you're whatever, but what you're doing day to day, nobody really cares. And if it's
everybody.
wrong,
Everybody's worrying about their own stuff.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So in this episode, I had said that on Bravery is that, a lot of people think, especially when we're younger, that being brave is taking risks. Because to me, that's what it was. It was how fast can I drive? It was, when I was in the military, going cliff diving. But as I got older, now I realize bravery is being consistent with the podcast. For instance, like my numbers used to be terrible. They're still terrible, but they're better. They're not as terrible because I said, you know what? I don't care. I don't care if just you were listening. In fact, when I was doing the morning devotional thing, I look back and there's a whole month where I had one listener and I know who it was. It was you, sir. Now I've got more than that. I don't know how many more, probably two. I don't know. But I just said, you know what? I'm going to keep doing this because I know that the consistency, eventually people will catch on.
Yes.
And that is bravery because your brain says, you know what? No one likes this. Stop. Go back to the couch where you're comfortable and just grow old and die on that couch.
Yep.
Be safe.
Yep.
But that's not living. So,
Absolutely not. I mean, and yeah, it's like, you just gotta do your thing, and
mhm.
then it's like Field of Dream. What is it? Field of Dreams, right? If you build
Yep.
it, they will come.
Yes.
You gotta build it. If you
Yep. I
don't
was watching
build
that
it,
last night.
did you watch that last night?
Yeah. Well, part of it. I fell asleep.
But yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, you have to build it, or if you don't build it, what is there to go to? There's nothing there.
Yep.
It's empty. So yeah, you have to build. You have to put in the effort. You have to be consistent. I think, and especially when we were speaking about social media, that is, consistency is very key, right? Because you can be a content creator, and what happens, it's like you'll form a following, but then if you start kind of being erratic and not consistent, I mean, what's going to happen? Naturally, you're going to start losing people's interest and stuff like that. I mean, the same goes for pretty much everything, right? It's like you got to put in the effort, because people are going to pick up on it, right? If they see that you're kind of half-assing it and not putting in your heart, and people are going to detect it. It's gonna come off like a siren.
Mhm.
So, and that's exactly what's going to be reflected on you. So if you're inconsistent with people and just life in general, that's exactly what you're going to get back, is inconsistency. You're going to
Mhm.
have, if you half-ass it, that's what you're going to get back. It's like whatever you put out, whatever effort you put out, that's exactly what you're going to get back.
Absolutely. So, since not everybody's a podcaster or an author, what does bravery look like within your marriage?
I think being open and sensitive to the other person is brave.
Mhm.
I think being openness is very brave, because you can have, if you're in a relationship, if you can't, I know there's people that are in relationships where they don't share everything. And I mean, that can cause issues or whatever, but that's a whole nother subject. But I know being open, being vulnerable, right? We spoke about vulnerability.
Mhm.
Is very brave. Crying in front of your spouse or your partner, telling them of what you're scared of, like what makes you afraid, telling them that, like things that you, I guess, deepest, darkest secrets or whatever. I'm not telling them to tell every little detail, but I think you guys know where I'm getting at. I mean, it's, to me, opening yourself up and being vulnerable is very brave. And that goes both for relationships as well, right? Being sensitive to the other person, because it's a two-way street, right? Like if you have to be there with arms open, accepting of your partner as well, right? Because they, of course, have things that they're afraid of and that they need to be open about, and you have to be understanding and all of that stuff. So I think being open in a relationship is very, very important. I think it's
Mhm.
very brave. I think it will also forge you into a better human being and a better partner. It'll make your relationship stronger, I believe. So and then I think they say when you're in a relationship, the two become one. It's like, I think it makes that even more solidified,
Mhm.
because you're in it together, and there you can be 100% human, or 100%. You could take the armor off. You don't have to be sheltered. So I think you can be out there exposed and not have a worry in the world. You know what I mean? Like I think that's very brave.
I agree. Also, as far as like telling, your partner your fears and whatever, tell them your joys. Tell them
Yes.
the good stuff too. I was having a conversation with a gentleman the other day that I was coaching about relationships and love actually, and this is totally off topic kind of, but it touches a little bit on what we said that, love grows. When
Yes.
you are in a relationship, you're growing together. So
Yes.
in the beginning, and you can look back at you and glow. I bet it was super exciting in the beginning. There was,
Mhm.
love and holding hands and a lot of lust, and it was exciting. Now you have a house. So now there's bills. And I know that you said you lost your job and I think maybe your house burned down or something back in the day.
Yeah, we had a fire.
So, and you're still going strong. So you're going over hurdles. And I know your wife lost her grandmother last year. You had to be there and listen to her and, console her. So she needed not that exciting love from the beginning, but she needed you to be there. She needed you to be open and to hear her.
Yes.
So love changes as you progress in your relationship. And if you are not able to change the way that you love somebody and you are stuck on the first month or 2 months or a year or whatever in that honeymoon phase, you're never going to make it. I can
Mhm.
promise you. So
I agree.
it's all about growth and being open, but also understanding that love changes. And that's one thing that why my marriage didn't work. It wasn't what it was the first year. We moved several times. We had a house, we had a kid, and it wasn't the same as it was in the beginning. And I was not understanding how love grows and changes. And that's one of the reasons why I fell apart. So
And I
totally off
love you.
topic.
I love you though, when you said growth, right? Because
Mhm.
that's a relationship should grow. It should. I think a lot of relationships kind of stay stagnant, and that's what happens, right? It's like, it's not going to stay honeymoon phase forever. I mean, that's great, and that would be nice, but it's not just, that's not, I don't think that's sustainable, right? It has to grow. You have to have the ups and downs. You have to have the disagreements. You have to have the times of, like I said, vulnerability or crying, or you have to have all that, life stuff in there, because otherwise, I mean, the relationship really isn't, it's like a plant, right? It's like the most simple analogy I could think of. Like, you gotta nurture it, water it, you have to, give it miracle grow, whatever.
You got to prune it, take part, the dead part.
You got to take the
Yep.
dead parts out. Exactly. Like, it's the same with a relationship. You got to take the good and the bad. I think that's what makes it stronger, right? You have to go through things together, good or bad, better or worse, like the vows say, right? So that only makes the relationship stronger. Like you mentioned, like, there was a period of time where, and it sucked, right? Because we had just got married. I got this new job. It was a great job. And soon after we got married, I lost that job. First job I ever got let go from. Then soon after that, we had a fire, which caused a bunch of other issues. And then I was laid off for a lot. It's a long story, but we went through it. We went through it together, the good times and bad. So, and it just made us closer and stronger, I think.
Stronger, for sure.
You have to take the good and the bad. And relationships, it's not gonna be a storybook thing, right? It's not gonna be
The highlight reel.
Yeah, it's not gonna be a highlight reel. You're gonna have times where you want to strangle each other.
Absolutely.
It's just how it is.
I truly believe in that. When you get to the end of your life, though, with all those struggles, when you look back, you will see nothing but the highlight reel.
Yeah, it's awesome, because that brings up a cool little memory. So when Gloria and I were getting ready to get married, we got into Chris Stapleton. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but
Absolutely, I love him. He's awesome.
there's a song that we picked as our main song, and I know every time it's on,
What song is that? I got to hear. I got to know.
it's, oh my gosh, now I'm drawing a blank. Hold on.
Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, but it's here is it called Here For You or something like that.
Okay.
I apologize, people. I should remember this. It's like
I don't think he's watching, so it's good. Don't worry about it.
So hold on, I'll tell you right now. Anyways, there's no dead air. But this song, it always, like, every time she hears it, she cries, because basically the song is it's like a couple that's together, and the man's on his deathbed, and they're going through, kind of like you said, the highlight reel, and he's basically talking about how it's the end, but they're there together. And it's like every time the song is on, she loses it. And I get kind of touched in the feels too when it's on. But
What does Dennis Leary say? You'll feel it down in the subcockles.
yeah, exactly. That's where you'll feel it. But it's not Tennessee Whiskey. It's not that song, I'll tell you. It's on the Traveler album back in 2015. It's called More of You. That's what I thought it was. But yeah, that song is pretty awesome. See if I could get the lyrics real quick. But anyways, it's about a couple that are together, and the guy's on his deathbed. And yeah, it's an awesome song. So More of You, if you guys, Chris Stapleton, check it out. It's an awesome song. It's great. But yeah, that song is a tearjerker for sure.
Excellent. So you talk about being open and just being honest and telling everybody everything, or not, maybe not everything, but the important things. That brings me to an unexpected plug for the wow, I am special right now. The Northman Brotherhood. When we get together in all our meetings, that's part of it. Especially on a Thursday meeting, we open up about our struggles, and everybody there listens. And as far as I'm aware, no one judges, and we're there to help each other out, get us through the hurdles. So if anybody out there listening is interested in a brotherhood, go to northmancoaching.com and check out Join the Brotherhood, where we meet 4 times a week. And I'm not going to go too much more into it. So
absolutely, guys. You guys, it's a great group. The guys are great.
Joel's great. He's in it.
That's why it's great.
Yes.
No, but in all seriousness, if you guys out there need someone to talk to, you got things on your chest, man, I'm telling you, Gary and the guys, that's the place to go, because we meet almost every day. A guy, you're there, and it's everything gets thrown on the table. It's like there's no one looks at you any way or judges you or anything like that. It's a place where, and let's face it, us guys we're told to hold it in and don't express your true feelings, right? And let's face it, man, even though we're guys, we're still human. I mean, come on. Like I myself, I'm not afraid to admit it. I get sad and there's times where I want to cry, right? I want to release that. And guys need a place for that. And Gary and the Northman Brotherhood is I mean, really just go, because you can let it all out. You can have, and it's great because everyone has a journey, right? Everyone has experiences. You can come in, tell us what's going on, tell your brothers what's going on, and someone may have the solution for you. Someone may have some advice that will help you progress and deal with what you're dealing with. So yeah, it's really great, guys. You guys got to go to northmancoaching.com and check out the Brotherhood, Gary and his life coaching and all. Dudes, I'm telling you right now, and it's not because I know Gary and we're friends and stuff like that. I seriously think it's something that we need, and Gary is offering this to everyone, and it's just great. It's just go now, go check it out.
Go now. I appreciate that. It's funny because looking at it, I never thought it was going to be what it is right now. It is grown into what I wanted, but I didn't see it until it grew. Like I knew like a flower was going to come out of this plant, but I didn't know what kind of flower. Now I see it. I'm like, wow, this is great. This really is a good space for men.
That is great the way you put it, because it's exactly right. It's exactly right. You have to plant the seed, right? You got to plant the seed, and then you just got to take care of it. Just make sure it's people are already looking for the plant instead of starting from the seed. So it's yeah, I really like the way you put that. Where
forget the plant, they want the flower. They don't want the plant.
Yeah, that is true.
It's like even when I go buy a tomato plant every year, I look for the one with all the flowers on it because I want the tomatoes to come quicker. But in life, you have to plant the seed. Then when you water it and nurture it, you'll get the plant. And if you keep watering and nurturing and pruning, then you'll get the flower and eventually the fruit. So since you've been in the men's group and you've been through life in general, what uncomfortable truth have you had to face about yourself that required real bravery?
I think maybe that I get in my own way. Okay. Like accountability is a big one, right? Like, and I'm not the kind of guy to always point fingers or blame something else. But at the same time, the reality of it sometimes is that you are the one getting in your own way. Right. So I think that's one thing that I had struggled with, and I'm getting a lot better with that, getting out of my own way. And you know what? I'm going to say it feels great. Like, I think accountability is a big one. I think, that's the big one with me.
I think as far as accountability, I think it's something that so many men struggle with, because when you say, you're the one that's in your way, that is the truth.
Yes.
But a lot of men, especially that haven't done the work or even looked inward one bit, it's always your fault or it's her fault. It's the job's fault. It's the economy. It's the government. It's Donald Trump. It's Joe Biden. It's somebody else's fault. But if you look at what you have contributed to the problem, you can easily sidestep it, get around it, figure it out so it doesn't happen again.
That's something that a lot of us fail to do, right? You got to look within first. Everything is not external. Are there external things that, can hinder you or cause issues or whatever? Sure. But I think ultimately you got to look inward first. Like what are you contributing to this problem or solution or whatever? I mean, it's like everyone's quick to look for the outside, issue or the things outside of themselves. I think we have to be more self-aware, take more accountability, take more an inward look at the situation, right? You gotta figure out your part in it. What is your part in it or lack of in this? So I think that's something that we all do. I mean, guilty, of course, but I think that's something that people need to learn to do, is look inward before you start looking outward.
You can blame all day long, but once you take the accountability and figure out what part yours is, you can fix things a whole lot quicker.
Exactly.
So the next question I have for you, I know that I don't recall what you said your stance was on religion. You want to touch on that for 2 seconds?
Yeah. I was very religious before. Right now, I'm not really. I haven't gone to church in quite a while. Usually politics and religion are something I don't really discuss. I don't mind it. Like right now, I don't mind, but personally, I think that religion and politics start a lot of problems. I mean, these are two subjects that start wars. So, and I think a lot of people aren't I don't want to say not mature enough, but people get so bent out of shape so fast. And we're
Mhm.
all in this together. In my view, it's, it's just, to me, it's like we're all in the same boat. It's like everyone's pit against each other. And I don't think that's right. But anyway, so I was brought up. My parents, when they came over from Puerto Rico, were Catholic at first. And then my dad, I remember the story very, like I remember, and this was a long time ago. I'm old. So my dad
Good
came
job, Brain.
over and someone I think from his job invited him to church, and it wasn't a Catholic church. And I remember my dad telling me the story that he went to genuflect or kneel before he sat down, and these guys ran to him and like, oh no, 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 you don't have to do that here.
Was that in the
So
book?
that's not in the book.
So you told me that in one of the meetings then. Okay.
Yeah. So then he started going there. My mom went, and then I think it was a Pentecostal church that they started going to. And yeah, they tried to raise us in the church, and I remember just being in church all the time. And yeah. And then when I went to grade school, it was a Christian school, a private Christian school that they had us go to. And that's one reason why I kind of butted heads with my mom, right? Because she was getting religious, but I think she was getting too religious. And then, of course, being the teenager, bumping heads with her. So anyways, fast forward, I left home. And then, of course, I stopped going to church. And then, so then when I got together with my wife at the time, there we go. She decided that she wanted to give the kids some church as well. And I agreed. I went along with it. So we kind of bounced around. And then ultimately we ended up going back to the Catholic church. And I got as far as I was going to be a youth minister. I started studying to be a youth minister. And then I even thought about going into the diaconate. So I was going to be a deacon. Which is one step underneath the priesthood. And then eventually we kind of, without going into great detail, there were some things that happened at church and certain people and stuff, and we kind of grew away from it. And then we decided that, we weren't going to put as much effort into it anymore. So, and right now, like now I have nothing against religion per se, and I have nothing against people that want to follow Christ or anything like that. I just think it's a respect thing where I mean, I respect you, but I think it goes both ways, right?
Hmm.
Kind of have to be
Absolutely.
respectful with it. Like, I don't care what religion or whatever. And I respect that. But then at the same time too, I think that, ultimately, and I have nothing wrong with organized religion or people going to church or anything like that. But ultimately, I think a relationship with God or Christ is an individual thing. I
Mhm.
think the relationship is between you and God, right? It's not for everyone else. It's you and God. It's a personal thing. The going to church and stuff is fine. Fellowship is fine. Worship is fine. I mean, it's part of your communal thing, right? Your fellowship, for lack of a better term, you're sharing. The church is you sharing your personal relationship, I guess, with others and spreading it to others.
Yes.
So that's kind of how I see it now. You don't have to go to church to be Christian or have to go to church to be, a certain way or whatever. It's a personal thing. You can walk with Christ without having to have to go to a building every week or every day or however often. So that's kind of my views on it now. Like I said, I don't have anything against it. I respect everyone out there. If you are religious and if you are a follower of Christ, I have 100% respect for you, but it does go both ways. I will say you have to be respectful about it as well. As far as politics, that's, like I said, another thing that I don't really discuss much.
We don't need to get into politics.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I mean, yeah, it's like I said, religion and politics, two really hot subjects that can start a lot of problems. I just wish
Yeah.
that people were more, I guess, understanding. I mean, like I said, people get so bent out of shape so fast.
Hmm.
And then, of course, people have to go on the defensive and then offense and all of this. I mean, honestly, if we're all in the same boat, like I don't know. It's just, to me, it's
You're
just, I don't understand it.
you're 100% correct, and we can get into that in a minute if you want. But and I asked you about your religion because with my morning devotional, every morning I do a devotional. Sometimes me, sometimes me and AJ. We talk about Christ and the Bible and how it relates to the mentor. And anybody out there is listening that is thinking they might want to be in the Brotherhood, but they're not religious. All you have to do is change it slightly. Everybody has a creator,
Yes.
and if you don't believe in that, then I don't hate you. I don't understand what you think, but whether it's God, whether it's Mother Nature, the universe, whatever you call it, everyone has a creator. So all you have to do is change the word God to creator. And that's how I feel it works with brotherhood. You know, you have to believe in something greater than you because there
Yeah.
is something greater than us.
Yeah, and I want to say this to you guys out there. Me personally speaking, as a member of the Brotherhood, don't let the religious things turn you off from it, because it's not a religious thing per se, right? It's like Gary said, everyone has their walk of life, everybody has their beliefs, their whatever. So don't let that turn you off at all. It's not like something they're trying to preach to you or make you a Bible thumper or anything like that. It's real men, real being human, being real. Yeah, I know the religious thing kind of turns people off, but it's not that. It's human beings being human and being real. So it's and everyone has their own beliefs, and nobody in the group judges you if you're an atheist or if you're a Catholic or Jewish or whatever. Everyone's welcome. Everybody,
Absolutely.
even your belief system doesn't matter. It's there. It has nothing that gets checked at the door, right? I'm not good. No one's gonna try to convert you to something, or it's not about that. It's about making you a better man, a better human, a better father, leader, brother.
That's what I want to convert everybody into,
Yes, that's what he wants to convert you guys into.
the
He's
better
not.
version of yourself.
Yes, a better version of yourself. It's not about religion. It's not about politics. It's not about what you believe, what you don't believe. It's making you a better person, a better man, a better father, better, whatever. So they're not trying to indoctrinate you with anything. It's
Brainwash. Drink the juice. Drink
yes,
the Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid. Yeah, it's not like that.
So the question I was gonna ask you is, what prayer were you afraid to pray? But before you answer that question I got because we both recently looked into a book called 100 Mind Tricks and Perspective Shifts by Jason Lamar. So this
Yes.
is the book, guys. This guy is he's very raw, hardcore. Don't agree with everything he says, but a lot of things he says are very real. And he does
Yes.
have a chapter in here called Prayer in Action. And he says, and I love this because being a Christian, man, like we're told to pray for the things that you want. And he says, you want to talk about faith? Fine. The Bible says it plain as day. Faith without works is dead. And it does say that. Not inactive, not delayed, but dead, which means your prayers without effort are nothing but wasted breath. You can sit and pray all day long for a better life. You can pray for a beautiful, loving wife, money, whatever you want. But if you're not going to take action, those prayers will go unanswered. Those things, I've prayed for money forever. And every time I open the door, there's not a sack of cash sitting there. But
Same.
you know what was put in front of me? The opportunity to have a podcast, the opportunity to be a life coach, the opportunity to have my full-time job as a mailman. So that is me praying for money, and a job comes my way, but I had to go and work to get it.
It's amazing to me. I mean, and that's how everybody looks at it, right? You pray and you just expect it to fall in your lap, but that's not how it works.
That's how a genie works.
Yes.
Still haven't found that lamp yet. Still looking though. So is there any prayer or anything that you pray that you were afraid to pray for, that you were afraid to go out and get?
Wow, that's a good question. Afraid to pray for.
Like what if you prayed for this and you got it?
Actually, praying to be strong enough to deal with people, I guess, or like help people. Because that was one of my big things, right? I remember back when I was in second grade, right? And I think this was kind of a glimpse at the future. So I remember I went to church, because we went to church all the time. And someone had scribbled on the wall in the bathroom, like graffiti or whatever. So for whatever reason, little second grader Joel, right? He felt obligated to go to the teacher and say, I have to talk to the class. And I went in front of the class, and I went through, it was like I was preaching. It was weird. But I was telling them how you're at church, you got to be respectful and not draw on the walls and stuff like that. And that situation always played in my head later on. And I always thought I'd be like some sort of teacher or preacher, something to that effect. And I mean, of course, life got in the way, so things kind of went this way and that way. But I always thought myself in that capacity. And I would say, what is it? Be careful what you wish for, because in recent times, and we're talking about the book and stuff, after I released the book and I kind of opened up a little more, I am getting, people and I'm attracting people. And I'm not going to lie, guys, like sometimes I kind of freak out about it or I get kind of weird about it, but that's what I want or that's what I asked for. Right. So, I think that would be it because I thought that's the direction I should go. At one point like I said, I was trying to be I was studying to be a youth minister and a deacon. So, obviously that's the route I thought I should go or wanted to go. But that means you're going to have to deal with people. So you got to put all your anxiety and social whatever has got to be put off to the side because you got to deal with people. You're going to deal with people that have real issues. So you're going to have to be ready for that. So I will admit, like I freaked out about that a little bit because I did open myself up, especially with the book and everything. And I am willing to open up more and put myself out there more.
Mhm.
But that's what you're asking for. And I'm not going to lie. There's times where I was a little bit afraid because it's like, man, I'm still, the little voices in my head. You're still getting your stuff together. How are you going to help others? Or, all these little stupid things come into my head. But I keep telling myself, that's your brain trying to get you out of it, giving you an out.
Keeping
So
you safe.
trying to be safe. Sometimes you gotta be unsafe to get where you gotta go.
Yes. So that actually brings me to my next question. That was segmented perfectly. I like that. So you being part of the Brotherhood now for quite some time, what do you think that men misunderstand about courage, about putting yourself out there, about being brave or being bold or even being balanced? Like, what do most men misunderstand about that?
I think like I said, being brave isn't you putting your chest out and being a man's man, right? That's not being brave. Being brave is being vulnerable. Being brave is being open. Being brave is seeing your brother down on the ground and you extending your arm and helping them up. Being brave is going through those things that you went through so you have the tools to help someone else with it, to pick them up. I've always said experiences speak volumes. They speak louder than words. You can have somebody, that went through a failed marriage or whatever help you out. They would understand more than someone that's just reading it out of a book, right? So I think a lot of men think courage and bravery is just like this machismo thing where, I can't show emotion and I gotta be this toughened, calloused individual to deal with stuff. And that's not how you deal with things. You don't put a shell over it or armor over it to deal with it. You have to get into the root, into the heart of it. Like in that way. And the only way you can do that is to be open, right? And be vulnerable and go into the group and tell guys, hey, I'm having this issue with my wife or, my kids and my one kid, blah, blah, blah. I think that's courage. That's bravery. That's most men and most people in general just think bravery is, the guy with his, chest out and, and that's not really what it is. It's part of bravery. Yes. I guess a textbook definition of
So I'm
bravery.
gonna stop you on that one because I feel like if you go to work or wherever you go with your chest out, you're confident. That says a lot about you, and that's going to draw the right people to you. But when you go into to like the men's group or wherever, and you puff your chest out to seem like you know what you're talking about, that I call that cockiness.
Yes, absolutely.
So, and I think a lot of men hide behind that, like they don't want to be vulnerable, so they be cocky. They'll be
Exactly.
loud and they'll be just so you don't question. But that leads me to another question, which you don't have to answer. I don't know if you can, but why are people cocky in a group of people that need help or that want, why do you act cocky when you want help?
It's a diversion.
Mm,
It's a smoke screen. It's like here's my issue over here, but it's like it's a distraction, right?
yeah.
It's almost I want to say a defense mechanism, right?
Yeah. I'll go with that. Sure.
You don't want them to see the real issue. You want them to see what you want them to see. Same thing with social media, right? We were talking about.
Yep.
So yeah, and people got to realize too, there is a difference between cockiness and confidence, right? And to
Huge
me,
difference.
going into a, going into a group of guys that, are there to help each other, or they need help, and just going into something like that with the cockiness is, I mean, it is off-putting. Let's be honest. But all things said, like, you almost kind of want to kind of pick at them more or dig deeper more, because there's something there. If you're going to a group like that, there's something there. And there's a reason why you're there, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, I think it goes with ego too, right? We haven't really talked about ego. I mean, ego's another thing that can get in the way big time or cripple you.
Yes.
I'm a man. I don't need that extra help. Yeah, okay. Like, you just gotta knock that off. That's nonsense.
You're only fooling yourself.
You're only fooling yourself. Yes.
So yes. Oh, I forget where I was now with my questions. So when in your opinion, when men tend to hide behind, what do men hide behind when they are afraid? So when they're coming in cocky, what are they hiding? Why are they hiding?
They're afraid of judgment. They're afraid of being looked at as less than a man. They're not handling their business. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. I think that's a fear with a lot of guys, that they're not living up to expectations. Because of course, everyone's expectations are that guys are the providers, the leaders, the protectors, but with all that said, I mean, we're still human, right? All us men are humans. We have feelings. I mean, the same thing that, everyone goes through. So it's like, I think a lot of guys put up that front because they think they're not meeting expectations. And really, those expectations are kind of false, right? Because, I mean, sure, you want to provide, sure, you want to protect, sure, you want to do all that stuff, right? Well, you're not going to be any good to anybody if your foundation is cracked or is not any good. What's going to happen? It's going to fall apart eventually. So a big thing in the groups, guys, is brick by brick, which is very, I think that's very deep, right? Because you have to do it brick by brick, right? Tear it down. If you got to tear yourself down, do it. And then just brick by brick, start building that foundation, being the man you should be or want to be, like, and the father you want to be. You got to start somewhere, right? But you're not going to start unless you break it down. And that's something that the group is great, right? We all go there and we break it down. We like get down to the roots. We get down to the real issues, right? And unless you start from there, you're not going to really get anywhere. So going in there with kind of cockiness or whatever, it's not going to do you any good. You got to start from the bottom. You got to start from the root. You got to start brick by brick. So, I mean, the group is great. It truly is. It's a place to go to get to that. When you're at that point, if you want to start building back up, that's the greatest.
And you say you get to that point because I feel like every man knows when he's at that point. It's not a defined spot in life, but you know when you're there. And to the whole brick by brick thing, I like to say, like, you're a house and you want to build a bigger house, a more beautiful house. You can't build anything on a bad foundation. So if your house you have now is crumbling, you got to tear it all down to build a mansion that you want.
Yeah, and you have a lot of guys are just like trying to put the patch on it right away, right? A patch here, a patch there, a patch there. It's not going to work. It's like the foundation has to be solid, or else it's going to fall apart. Can you kind of patch things here and there? Maybe, yes. But
you can patch things, but it's not a permanent thing. It's not a permanent thing.
It's not permanent. You have to start from scratch. You have to start from the bottom, because yeah, okay, you fixed your marriage for now, but for how long is that going to last? Why don't you get to the root of the issue? I mean, okay, you patched it up with your wife or your girlfriend or whoever, but what's the real issue? That patch is gonna fall off eventually. So that's with everything, right? If you don't get to the base, to the root, to the heart, it's just not, it's not permanent. It's not permanent. And what we are trying to strive to do, or what we're striving to do, is make something permanent, right? We're not here for the short-term solutions. You shouldn't even think that way. You should be thinking about things in a more permanent sense. And sure, I mean, life has its ups and downs and throws you whatever, but if your foundation is solid, then you're just going to plow right through it, right? You're going to deal. If your foundation isn't, up to par where it should be, it's going to crumble. Whatever obstacle comes to you is going to knock you down or stop you or stall you or whatever. So yeah, that to me is very important.
Funny you said that. So this is going to circle back all the way to the beginning almost. And then I'm going to roll into a quick fire before we close it up. But you said you fixed your marriage, but for how long? And I tried to fix my marriage. Didn't work because I didn't realize that the marriage didn't need fixing. I needed fixing. And my wife needed fixing. But you can't fix her.
Right.
She can fix her and I can fix me. So back to like the growth with you and Glow. Like if you need to fix yourself and so does she, but she's not willing to do it, then there's no growth between the two of you. So when you say tear it down or fix your marriage or fix this, you have to fix you.
And it's great because it is an individual thing, right? But if you're in a relationship, it's a bonus, right? Because like for example, I'm here for Glow. Anything she needs, any support she needs, even if I'm here just for her to cry on my shoulder or, complain about whatever, I can help her through that. It's an individual thing, yes. But when you're in a relationship, it's like I said, it's like a bonus, right? Because I'm here for her 110%. And I'm sure she's here 110% for me. So even when I'm down and I'm not feeling so good and she's there to help me out. She's there to kind of prop me up and help me. So I think, it's a bonus when you're in a relationship, but ultimately it is an individual thing. I mean, you have to take care of yourself.
Yes. What does Cliff say? You're the only person with you from life, from the start to finish.
Yep. Start to finish.
So you are the only person in your life from start to finish. Everyone else is temporary.
Everyone else is a supporting actor.
You got it.
Yep.
All right. So then into the quick fire round. What's more important to you, balance or ambition?
I would say balance.
How about faith or certainty?
I'm going to say faith.
Like that. Comfort or growth?
Growth, absolutely.
Here's going for you. Boldness or patience?
Patience.
Okay. What is harder for you, saying yes or saying no? I know the answer to that one.
Saying no.
The last question I have for you is, what does lead the legacy mean to you?
Does lead a legacy?
Lead the legacy, your legacy. What are you trying to leave behind?
Well, I just want to leave the world a better place than I left it. I want to leave my mark in a positive way, be it through a book or my podcast, word of mouth, people that know me. I want people to know the way the way I live my life and the path I took, and let them know that they can do the same. I guess if that makes any sense. I want people to know that you can go from bad situations, not so favorable situations, and you could come out of it just fine. I mean, even if your life isn't like right now, like the listener count or readers or whatever, I mean, none of that really matters. It's, I guess it's the mark you make and, the what people can get out of it afterwards, I guess, or how they can progress, by your example, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I love that. All right. So my last question for you, and this is for anybody listening, but I want you to answer. If a man today feels stuck, overwhelmed, and afraid to take the next step, what is one piece of wisdom from your life that you would want him to hear?
Take that step. Do it. Don't think about it. Just do it. I know. And I'm going to admit right now, there's times where I still get kind of like, you dip your toe in the water here and just get in the water. Just do it. But no, honestly, just don't put a lot of thought in it, because the thinking you're going to give yourself an opportunity to give yourself an out. Just do it. Unless you're a psychic or I don't know what, you're not going to know what's going to happen. You don't know where it's going to lead you. And failure, like we talked about it before, you will fail. There's you're going to fail. Failure is inevitable. So take the step or not. It doesn't, whatever, but just do it. Just take the step. Cause what is it? Martin Luther King, I think there was a quote where it's like, the staircase quote where you have to take the first step. So
all I know is I have a dream.
Yes. I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but no, honestly, you have to take the step. You're not going to get anywhere unless you take any steps. So, I mean, come on, take the step.
True. Yeah. Even when you're looking you go to the mall, if you don't start walking up those steps, you're not going to get to the second level unless you find the elevator, but whatever. Still got to walk inside of it. And push
the Cinnabons up there.
Excellent. All right. So, if anybody out there really, enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe. If you didn't like it, I don't know what's wrong with you. And if you're interested in joining the Brotherhood, or some one-on-one coaching, or in my book, The First 30 Days, which will help you or teach you to respond versus react when going through a divorce or a breakup, go to northmancoaching.com and check out everything there. I'm not going to go into details. It's all there. Northmancoaching.com. Check out all the daily devotionals that we do. They come out every Monday through Friday in the morning, and the podcast is every Sunday evening. Available on all podcast platforms, YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff. So check it all out, and check out Joel's book, May December End. Check out his podcast, wow, Sessions and Lessons, and his wife's podcast, Glowing Off Script. Those also every podcast platform. So check them all out. And I'll see you guys next week for the next value, which I believe is calmness. Other than that, you guys have a great day, evening, whatever it is, and I'll see you soon.
"7 days, no obligation, just 7 days for an opportunity to make yourself a better man. Divorce, hardships, we all have or are going through it. You are not alone. Join the Brotherhood, Northman Coaching on School. Stop by today and begin the journey. Shoulder to shoulder, brick by brick. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. You are worth it. Join today."
Men, divorce hits like a storm, leaving wreckage behind. This isn't about fixing the past. It's about forging the future. Start building the foundation for the man you're becoming. Take time to reflect and rise to each challenge. Get the free ebook, The First 30 Days. The first 30 days will help you survive the shock, stabilize your emotions, protect your peace and sanity, reclaim your strength. Northman Coaching and the Northman Brotherhood. Get your free ebook.